Hello, students. Welcome to the online lecture series of St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. Myself, Satyendra Vats, Assistant Professor in ETC Department. In today's video, we will see some of the applications of Fourier transform and the relationship between Laplace transform and Fourier transform, which is a part of Unit 2nd of Signal System, EE 4th semester. So first of all, we will see the relationship between Laplace transform and Fourier transform. So Laplace transform can be converted into Fourier transform if we put the value s is equal to j omega. S is the complex variable whose value is sigma plus j omega. If the real part sigma becomes 0 or s becomes j omega, then the Laplace transform converts into Fourier transform. So you can see here, if we have a signal xt whose Fourier transform is x omega and its Laplace transform is x of s. So Laplace transform of xt can be given as, we know the formula of Laplace transform, that is minus infinity to infinity xt into e raised to power minus st dt, where s is the complex variable whose value is sigma plus j omega. Now if I put the value of s is equal to sigma plus j omega, the expression becomes this one. Then I take I divided it into two components, that is xt into e raised to power minus sigma t and multiply by e raised to power minus j omega t. I have opened this bracket. So you can see Laplace transform has now become the Fourier transform of xt into e raised to power minus sigma t, because if I consider this as a function, so this is the Fourier transform, as Fourier transform is xt into e raised to power minus j omega t. If I consider this as one function, so we can see this is become the Fourier transform of xt e raised to power minus sigma t. If now I take sigma is equal to 0, then the Laplace Fourier transform now becomes the Laplace transform. So Fourier transform of xt for sigma is equal to 0 is nothing but the Laplace transform, in which s is equal to j omega, as sigma we have taken, that is the real part of the complex variable s is 0. So this converts into Laplace transform. Okay, then now we'll see some of the applications of Fourier transform. It can be used in communication systems, as we have already seen in last lecture, the sampling process, which is a very important operation in the signaling process, or in which we convert analog signal into digital or digital into analog signal, which is used in the transmission of signals over a channel. So it can also be used for circuit analysis, and it can be used for to solve the differential equations. So here we can see for circuit analysis, sometimes it is easier to analyze circuit in frequency domain as compared to time domain. So we can use Fourier transform to convert our time domain signal into frequency domain, and then we can analyze its frequency spectrum, which is also used in communication systems, frequency spectrum. So for example, now I am considering a basic Ohm's law. I will take a basic circuit and will solve it. Okay, so if I have, we can say, if we have the Ohm's law, which can be given as V omega, that is Fourier transform of voltage, is equal to, as we know, V is equal to I into R. So if I take the Fourier transform, it becomes V omega is equal to Z omega into I omega. I omega is the Fourier transform of current and Z omega is the Fourier transform of impedance. So if a circuit is consists of resistance, inductors and capacitors, then in time domain they are represented as RLC. In Laplace transform, R will remain R, L will be represented as SL. So Laplace transform of L will be SL, and for capacitor it will be 1 upon SC. So if I put S is equal to J omega, it becomes Fourier transform. That is, for R it remains R, for SL it is J omega L, and for capacitor it is 1 upon J omega C. Now let's take an example in which I have given a circuit. This is the input voltage VIT. This is a resistor of 2 ohm and a capacitor of 1 farad. I need to calculate the voltage across this capacitor V0 T. If VIT is given to us as 2 into e raised to power minus 3t ut. So this is our circuit, this is our input voltage. We need to calculate the voltage around capacitor. So I have drawn this circuit again on this page. So C is 1f, that is 1 upon j omega c. In Fourier transform, that is 1 upon j omega c is equal to 1. VIT is 2 into e raised to power minus 3t ut. So if I will take the Fourier transform of VIT, you all know e raised to power minus at ut comes out to be 1 upon a plus j omega. So using this property, I can find that Vi omega is 2 upon 3 plus j omega. Okay, so now I have arranged this equation in form of transform. So Vi omega is 2 upon 3 plus j omega, R will remain 2, and capacitor is 1 upon j omega, and output voltage is V0 omega. So if I need to calculate the output voltage, that is the voltage across capacitor, we would use the voltage divider rule. So it can be given as Vi omega into I upon 1 j omega, which is this impedance, divided by 2 plus 1 plus j omega, that is total impedance. So this is how we can calculate the voltage across the capacitor. So it comes out to be, if I rearrange, it comes out to be 2 upon 3 plus j omega plus 1 plus 2 j omega, or 1 upon j omega plus 3. If I take a 2 common, then 2 in the numerator and the denominator will cancel out, and it becomes this. So using partial fraction, I convert it into two functions, a upon j omega plus 3 plus b upon j omega plus 1 3. So you all know partial fractions. So using partial fraction, a comes out to be minus 2 by 5 and b comes out to be 2 by 5. So this is our output voltage in Fourier transform or frequency terms. So if I take the inverse Fourier transform, V0 comes out to be minus 2 by 5 e raised to power minus 3t, because 1 upon a plus j omega, the inverse transform is e raised to power minus at. So using that, the V0 is this, plus for this function it will be 2 by 5 e raised to power minus 1 by 2t, as a is 1 by 2 in this function, into ut, which is a unit function. So this is how we can calculate or solve the basic circuits to get the current or to get the output across a particular element using Fourier transform. So this is one of the application. Then second is in communication systems. So you have already seen that sampling, modulation and demodulations, in which we use filters at the receivers, which also use Fourier transforms to define the cutoff frequencies and band frequencies. So in communication system, low frequency audio signals, voice signals are superimposed on high frequency carrier signal, which is called modulation. And one of the many properties like amplitude, frequency or phase is changed or varied according to the message signal that we need to be transmitted. So we use modulation, demodulation, sampling, filtering. So all these processes involve the Fourier transform to analyze our signals and to make our system efficient in reconstructing the original message signals. So sampling we have already seen in the last lecture. All these operations in some form or the other use the Fourier transform for signal processing and analyzing the signal in frequency domain. So communication system uses sampling and filtering processes which depends upon the frequency of message signal. So it becomes convenient to convert our signal into frequency domain using Fourier transform. So in communication we have so much of requirement of Fourier transform. Okay, then we can also solve the differential equations using Fourier transforms. So Fourier transform can also be applied to the solution of different equations. Using Fourier transform we can convert differential equations into algebraic equations which can be easily solved. So using the Fourier transform we can convert a differential equation into algebraic equation which we can easily solve. So let's consider an example. We are given a second order equation, that is d square yt by dt square minus yt is equal to minus gt. Second order, I am saying second order because the order of this differential is 2. So taking Fourier transform on both the sides, we get Fourier transform of right side or left side, that is Fourier transform of d square yt by dt square minus Fourier transform of yt. I am taking the Fourier transform of all the terms. So we know using the differential property of Fourier transform, if I take the Fourier transform of first order differential of a signal, it would be j omega. J omega would be multiplied in its Fourier transform. If I take the second order, then it will be j omega square, and if it is nth order, then it will be j omega raised to power n y omega, given that the initial conditions are 0. That is why I have taken the other term as 0, which depends on the initial conditions. So using this we can solve this equation. Here we have I have written here, this is for the second derivative, this is for yt, and this is for gt, which is a signal, maybe a input signal. Okay, so it becomes j omega square y omega minus y omega is equal to minus g omega. Now the output is y omega, which we can arrange the equation and found out that g omega upon 1 plus omega square. So in general solution will be the inverse Fourier transform. So we need to calculate in the time domain, so we need to calculate the inverse Fourier transform. So yt would be the inverse Fourier transform of this function. So it can be seen as the product of two terms, that is 1 upon 1 plus omega square into g omega. So Fourier transform using the multiplication property, that is if there is a multiplication in the frequency domain, then it will be the convolution in time domain. So it would be nothing but the Fourier transform of 1 plus 1 omega square into Fourier transform of g of omega or g of f. So for this function, inverse transform comes out to be e raised to power minus t modulus of t upon 2, as we all know that the Fourier transform of e raised to power minus at, where t is the modulus, will be, it was a 2a upon a plus a square upon omega square. So in this case we have a is equal to 1, so it becomes e raised to power minus modulus of t, a is 1, divided by 2 into that is the inverse Fourier transform, which comes out to be gt. We don't know what is the input signal. It can be a unit step signal, it can be a impulse, or it can be a square wave. So depending upon that we can calculate the output. If I know the input, I can get the input. So this is how we can calculate our output of the differential equation. So we have seen that Fourier transform has many applications in communication systems, in finding differential equation, or for circuit analysis. Okay, so this is it for this video. Thank you very much.